Okay, it is 9:38 a.m. and I got out of a setup with WLAN and I want to see if it can continue to work, if it can try to maybe get to the day high, which is 99, and then try to break above a penny. It didn't do it when I was in it, but in theory it did work out in that it offered a bounce. I traded this for like a very cheeky dip and rip. I didn't consider this for a break above the 1 penny level right at the morning because again, it seems like with the trades that I've been having, it just doesn't seem to work out as nicely. The breakout setups, all the dip buys seem to be better. So I did take this one thinking that it was going to maybe be like a dip and rip setup. I bought 20,000 shares, 933 right here at 92. And it was really hard to get in at any other price because all of this below 92 was pretty much at the bid. There was a chance where I could have been in at 91, but for the most part, this thing kind of trades a little erratic. So I think I got in at the best price I was able to, although, obviously it would have been better to have gone in lower. But again, it was a dip and rip setup. I got in right here because it looked like it was trying to turn around. And I did try to be a bit more patient. I sold in pieces, very small pieces. I sold 5,000 shares at 95 and I was at 935. So right here is when I sold some and then I placed another order 936 and I got executed at the same price at 95. And then I got out at 937 at 9 yeah, 97. So 937 was right here. Why did I get out here? Well, I got out because it broke the trend line, the uptrending trend line. Once it got out of it, I was out of the trade, and it did do this little freaky downtrend as low as 92 with a lot of volume. And now it's just hanging around near the top, maybe trying to break the day high and try to go for a penny. So that's pretty much it with that one. This one is interesting. I'll keep watching it. I probably won't be able to, but it would be cool if I could short this one and be profitable with it. There is let me see if there's something nice with GTII. I don't really see anything right now. Maybe something can develop later. Same with CRTD. That's all I have for right now. I'll make an update later. It is 11:05 a.m. and I had another trade with GTII. And this one is a bit different from the other dips that GTII would make. It would normally just make a quick one and bounce immediately. You can almost tell by these wicks when it would do something like that. And this was a trend line break, so the idea was is that it was downtrending over a longer period of time. And once it broke this line, I was interested in it for a potential reversal. And I did have a fear that at first I had the trend line like this. I had a fear that it would break past it and then it would sell off. So it did break past it right here, but it was continuously uptrending. I would have liked it if it were to have broken past it, then had one more dip, and now after it dipped, it's still above the trend line, and then it uptrends, but that wasn't the case. It just continued the uptrend, and this one was a bit scary, the trade, I'll be honest. It just doesn't have, I think, the same amount of volume as it did in the morning, but this was still a decent setup, and it did play out, and I had the trend line all the way up here to kind of play out the extremities, so I did buy 100 shares, and that was at 348 at 1052, right when it was looking like it was trying to break above this 347 range that it was struggling to break past because there was a bunch of actually no, I think there was just one seller with hidden size, and once that person was broken out, I was in at that point at 1050, yeah, 1052 at 348. So right here before it started to uptrend. And the problem was is that the ask was way off and it would hit the ask, but the bid would never really uptrend. And I didn't like the price action because it felt like somebody just had a lot of shares to sell and it wasn't really letting it uptrend because it would just keep hitting the bid, which was super far away compared to where the ask was. So that did throw me off. I did just lower my risk, so half of my position 5 minutes later. 1057, I did get out half of my position, barely higher than where I bought it, 348 and a small piece. And I think that was good, even though it did cut in terms of how much I was able to make off of this trade, just because of the fact that it was trading a bit ugly and there was a lot of selling price action again with the bid and ask very far away from each other. And I did sell the rest at 353. That was at 11 o'clock right here at 353. It doesn't even show. I don't think I even had a print that went off when I had my sell order because it was just probably a very small amount, and the broker, I guess, took care of it later. But that was the case with that. It still has this ceiling at 356 that it would have to break past. At least we do have support now at 350, but at the time it wasn't really there. It would just be like that one person, like for example, at 353, and then it would immediately, drop into the 340s, right where the trend line was, and potentially where it would break under. So that's the case with that. Best case scenario, I think it gets to VWAP and it gets above it as well. And that could be super profitable, and I'll see how it does over a longer period of time. This was still good experience trade, something that doesn't have that much I don't know, I guess that much price action. No, I think that it just doesn't have that much liquidity. It does have volume, but it's not very fluid. So, yeah, I'll make an update later. I added this one. This one is weird. I'll just continue to watch it. This one is trying to break 750, which was a previous run up high. Yeah, that was 751, so that could be a short squeeze in the afternoon, especially if people don't want to hold on to their short position on a Friday, which makes sense because maybe they don't want to pay interest over the weekend and be scared of news coming out over the weekend and then causing a short squeeze on Monday. That's a possibility. That's pretty much it for right now. I don't think I'll end up trading anything else, but if I do, I'll make an update. If not, when the market is closed. Okay, it is 8:33 p.m. and I am here to call it off. Overall, I'm going to be up on the day $10 and 63 cents. And the only bad thing really out of these two setups that they both kind of work. They didn't really reach the goal that I normally try to get to. But yeah, I had an issue right here. I should have had, it seems like, twice the amount of shares. Right, that would have allowed me to have had a dollar risk level near my goal, which is $100. This was a bit too low, 56. And just looking at it, I thought worst case scenario, it could have dropped to 65. Again, looking at WLAN, 65 was like a support level right here. So I thought worst case, I'm in it right at the morning dip and rip, and then it just breaks the day low and it starts to really panic and there's slippage and everything like that. So I thought that was worst case scenario. Should have had twice the amount of shares, and that would have allowed me to have been a bit more profitable today. It would have been like $18 day instead, but that's fine. And again, this one didn't get to the day high. It didn't try to break above a penny, which is fine. And there was nothing else that I was interested in. And then as for GTII, this one did continue to follow this trend line, but again, it was very choppy right here. And when it broke past it, it failed, but it did take a long time for it to downtrend. And then it did one more uptrend right here, which I think would have been kind of unpredictable to trade, other than just considering the fact that maybe triple bottom setup right here. Although it did briefly break the day low at this point, and then it made a move towards the upside. That's pretty much it. MMTLP is very close to that $7.50 level. If I had traded above it throughout the day, I want to see if it can continue the uptrend, squeeze some shorts, or if it's going to be a top, a double top. And yeah, CRTD shot up. This is not really predictable. This is just kind of erratic, but I'll continue to watch this and maybe try a similar setup where it can break, in this case, not above a penny like WLAN, but maybe above $1 with CRTD. And this one is just kind of weird. I'll continue to watch it. That's it for today. I should have had more signs on WLAN. Overall, they weren't too bad. Again, this one didn't get to VWAP. It didn't get above it, but it did uptrend. And then WLAN didn't necessarily uptrend too much, but they both kind of worked out. I just, again, should have had twice the amount of shares with WLAN. That's it for today.